New approaches of global cooperation will be discussed by experts from 30 countries in Nur Sultan. The 5th annual meeting of Authoritative Platform will be held from November 11th to 12th. The participants will discuss about the themes on global order, economy development, as well as unfolding global technology race. In addition, discussions on issues of nuclear disarmament and prospects of creation of a new format of partnership between European countries are also planned to be discussed. The presentation of results of international research, the top 10 risks for the region in 2020 will be held as well. Over 50 people representing 30 countries, including laureate of the Nobel Prize, nearly 10 former heads of governments, current foreign ministers, directors of think tanks, in particular the Carnegie Foundation, large Chinese and Russian centers, as well as current politicians such as Mr. Fratkov, who is the former head of Russian intelligence service and now head of committee of the State Duma. A number of European politicians who represent all key countries of Europe are also expected to take part in the forum. All of the participants are interested in the construction of the cooperation between all countries of Eurasia. Breakthrough investment and effective projects are being implemented in different regions of Kazakhstan. A number of joint projects with foreign companies have been presented to ambassadors of the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and the United States in the city of Oral. One of the projects is the construction of a unique fifth-generation greenhouse complex in the West Kazakhstan region. The project will increase the export of organic products to Russia. All the preparations have been done for the construction of a large greenhouse complex from the Netherlands. The production of tomatoes, flowers, and vegetables will increase in the upcoming years. It is necessary. The production is expected to be 40,000 tons per year, but of course not at once. The ambassadors pointed out the importance of cooperation with Kazakhstan, in particular with the West Kazakhstan region, as a reliable, constructive and innovative partner.
Well, the United Kingdom cooperates with Kazakhstan in a variety of fields. The most important one is oil and gas. We're also very active in mining and in agriculture, financial and professional services, and also in education.
During a working visit to Western Kazakhstan, the diplomats learned about projects in areas such as energy, petrochemicals, and hydrocarbon extraction. They also held a number of meetings with the representatives of local and foreign businesses operating in the region. Flight attendants of Europe's largest airline Lufthansa went on a strike in Germany. The employees of the carrier declared a 48-hour protest. 1,300 flights had to be cancelled due to the protests. It is expected that about 180,000 passengers will be affected due to the cancellation of flights. Meanwhile, the flight attendants demand higher wages and better working conditions. The airline's management has proposed to hold the discussion of the new conditions in February next year. Police had opened fire on protesters in Iraq. 4 people died while many were injured as a result. Anti-government protests began in October in the country. Almost every day, demonstrators gathered at central venues and near government buildings. The people are angry with poverty, unemployment, and corruption in the country. Riots and clashes with security forces continue in all cities of Iraq. The demonstrations are negatively affecting the country's economy. For example, the Qasr port near the Basra city was closed last week. The Popocatépetl volcano has erupted in Mexico. A column of dust and 2-kilometer high ash exploded into the air. The eruption happened for the second time this week. No information about the victims is made available at the moment. The volcano is one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world. Experts are closely monitoring the volcano's activities. Authorities have urged residents not to come close to the volcano. Contribution of the ethnic groups in development of Kazakhstan will be the main theme of Scientific and Practical Conference, which will take place in the capital on November 12th. The meeting is aimed at in-depth study of common culture and history of the country, as well as popularization of national values. Scientists, historians, and representatives of the Assembly of People of Kazakhstan have gathered in Shymkent in the run-up to the event. Experts have begun the casting of those who would be entered in the common database to become popular in Kazakhstan. They also said that these are the people who have greatly contributed to the development of economy, culture, literature, and art, as well as succeed in scientific and sports areas.
Бұл біздің өңірімізге, біздің мынау жас өспірімдерге әрине үлкен сабақтар.
This demonstrates a great mutual relationship. Of course, this is also a contribution to history. We only know people of the 19th century. However, there is little information about our contemporaries. Therefore, it is necessary to supplement them and create this informational database.
Этностардың, халықтардың өкілдері туралы көп білмейміз, мәліметтер көп емес. Сондықтан оны толықтыру.
More than 500 candidates, including young people from Mangistau region, have successfully been evaluated in the first 2 stages of selection for the Presidential Youth Staff Reserve. Among the participants is Serik Akhmetov, who leads the Kurik seaport. He plans to further strengthen maritime logistics and Kazakhstan's transit potential. Kazakhs no older than 35 years of age with higher education and at least 5 years of work experience can participate in the Presidential Youth Staff Reserve. In total, there will be 6 stages. The remaining steps are to prepare projects for presentation, project defense, and online interviews. The first 2 stages were the most difficult. Until January 2020, I have a chance to be part of the staff reserve. A mineral water manufacturing enterprise is opened in the Narin region in Kyrgyzstan. The facility was built on the place where a well was drilled during the Soviet era. The mineral water has been bottled recently. Water from 200 meters depth flows through the pipes into the storage device. It is filtered and cooled to 5 degrees Celsius. There was no construction near the well except for the water that used to flow here. My relatives and I decided to pour the water and we built this small workshop. We began to bottle the water. The manufacturers started with several hundreds of bottles per hour, but now almost 1,000 bottles are being filled in 1 hour. The company is planning to obtain an export certificate. A schoolgirl from Dushanbe, Nigora Ashrapova, has joined the top 10 list of inventors in Tajikistan. At the age of 12, she collects unique multifunctional robots. Recently, development of the young innovator, which is a model of unmanned public transport, has won her the 3rd place in the National Robotics Contest. She is preparing to present her project at one of the prestigious international competitions. Nigora is very special and exclusive because she is the only one girl competing at the senior level. There are very few girls in robotics, but when there is a girl, she is considered as the best. Although Nigora has been interested in the intellectual hobby only for 1 year, but she has managed to create a robot in just 3 months. Her friends who are inventors just like Nigora helped her.
У нас очень много проблем вот так с этими клешнями были, потому что...
We had a lot of problems. For example, we need these claws to be like this, and when the robot opens, we need them to be like this. Previously, these things didn't hold the robot, and it used to be stuck and then could not close back. We have gone through a lot, but now the final version is presented with such claws.
Мучились, и вот финальная версия — это вот такие штуки.
Robotics is not the only serious hobby of Nigora. She also plays tennis. Sports help her to stay focused and make quick decisions. Nigora can solve complex mathematical problems, and she is showing a good example to her peers. The works of Abay, Tori Jorga, and folk song Yerkim Ay have been performed using a dombra by a robot, which was created by students of the Nazarbayev Intellectual School in Semey. The students' innovation was dedicated to the 175th anniversary of the great poet Abay Kunanbayullah. The project took 2 months. The automated technology picks strings of the dombra and chords. The robot performs musical compositions by playing the computerized notes. The tempo of the work can also be controlled by the creators. The students are confident that their musical robot can play any melody if notes are provided.
Biz onun birinchi oynatgan kuyi ол тоже.
Our invention can play other keys as well. One of them is Tori Jorga. Today, the robot can play only 5 works. We plan to increase the number of songs in the future. The robot can easily play on notes. Recently, we have developed another robot which could play only one composition. This device is more progressed compared to the other, which means that we are developing. The Year of Youth is close to completion. Various events on prompting, support, development of new traditions, and continuity of generations were held as part of the initiative announced by the first president of Kazakhstan. Nur Sultan has hosted a fruitful meeting where young people met with famous journalist, playwright, and public figure Jabal Yergaliev. The event was organized by the Library of the first president of Kazakhstan. The library staff said that such meetings are more effective rather than providing books.
Сугестия принципі арқылы өзінің қалыптасқан тәжірибесімен бөлісетін. Сонымен қатар тәжірибенің арқасында жастар.
He shared his experience, which is based on suggestio. This is more than reading his book in the social network. The young people gained knowledge and met with personalities. They could ask questions and exchange opinions with each other. This is a communication between the older, the middle, and the younger generations. Communicating and sharing experience are the essence of such meeting.
Арасындағы сөйлесу білу, тәжірибе алмасу білу, осындай кездесудің мәні деп айтуға болады.
Photos, rare videos, and personal belongings of the Olympic bronze medalist Denis Ten were presented at an exhibition held in Seoul. The voice of the athlete was played at the event as well. Footage shot by Denis' friends was also collected by the organizers and shown at the event.
You don't know all my pretty things were only meant for her.
The figure skater from Kazakhstan was very well talented in numerous fields. He was remembered in Kazakhstan and South Korea as a sportsman, photographer, poet, musician, and a cheerful and kind-hearted person. Famous figure skaters and journalists came to pay honor for the memory of Denis Ten. I have known Denis since childhood. I saw his first steps on ice. I saw how he taught children in Almaty, and I thought that he would become an outstanding figure skating star worldwide. The first time that I met Denis was when I was invited to participate in an ice show. I remembered Denis as a person who always takes care of all the people around him. Therefore, when I think about him, my heart fills up with warmth. The foundation of Denis Ten continues the figure skaters activity, which he hasn't done during his life. The social organization has published a collection of his poetry and held a tournament in the memory of the sportsmen. Nur Sultan hosted a literary and theatrical evening, The Poet and His Muse, dedicated to the 125th anniversary of the great Kazakh poet, writer, playwright, and public figure Ilyas Jansugurov. Theatre performance was prepared based on the author's poem Kuishi and Khan Kenyet Tragedy, written by Mukhtar Awezov. The goal of the event is to generate interest of students to poetry, as well as garner respect to national values. Organizers added that there are also knowledge of talents and support of creative initiatives. Artists who performed the play were students of Nazarbayev University, who successfully made the event unique.
Бұл балаларды рухани жағынан өсіреді. Баланың шығармашылық қабілетін оятады. Сондықтан біз осындай іс-шаралар
to awaken their spiritual capabilities. This is why we hold such events. The performers are not the actors at all. They are engineers, doctors, politicians. However, the play on the stage will help them to overcome their insecurities. After that, they will be able to get the message everywhere.
бір нені комплекс дейді ғой, содан шығуына көмектеседі. Осы комплекстен шыққан бала барлық жерде де еркін ойын жеткізе алады.
Togis Kumalak is one of the most popular games in Central Asia. The game is known to help the development of logical thinking and tactical ingenuity, particularly for children. Experts said that Togis Kumalak is a difficult game since the player has to think abstractly. The national game has become popular in South Korea. The Togis Kumalak game section was opened in the city of Goyang, in the suburbs of Seoul. The city's local resident became interested in the game and searched for its information online. Mentors of the game are planning to organize a full competition in South Korea.
세계에 너무 다양한 것들이 많은데
Little is known about Togis Kumalak game in South Korea so far. I've met with the administration of Kazakh Federation of Togis Kumalak in Seoul. We agreed to exchange information, actively cooperate, and receive support on expansion of the game in South Korea.
모르고 있어가지고 앞으로 그런 관련